My research tries to find out the relationship between what people eat, their diet, the nutrients in their diet, and how that affects their immunity, their immune system, and also their inflammatory system. Of course, immunity is important for defending people against bacteria, viruses, and so on. Inflammation is part of immunity, but inflammation itself can be harmful to people and is linked to many diseases. So our work on diet, immunity, and inflammation links to the risk that people might have for different types of diseases. Now, most of my research has been about fat and fatty acids, particularly omega-3 from fish, for example. And our most important research findings relate to how the omega-3 from fish help the body to control inflammation. And this can be very important in terms of helping people with diseases that involve inflammation behaving in a way that it shouldn't normally behave. So the question on how the immune system can be helped or improved, of course, is very important right now. It's something many people are interested in. Now, there are many aspects of lifestyle that can help the immune system. For example, managing body weight, keeping physically fit, not smoking cigarettes, not too much alcohol consumption, but diet is also really important. And in the diet, there are many factors which can help the immune system. For example, many of the vitamins and minerals are really vital for the immune system to work. Good quality protein, essential fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids, these are also vital to the immune system. And also things from the diet that help our gut bacteria, our gut microbiota as it's termed, especially fiber is very important for the gut microbiota. And in turn, the gut bacteria, the gut microbiota is helping our immune system. So if you think about all of these things, vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, essential fatty acids, most of these you're getting from plants, from fruits, from vegetables, from seeds, from nuts, a little bit from animal foods as well. So I think a sort of what you might call, a diverse plant-based diet is really important for supporting the immune system, for helping the immune system to work. And that would be something a little bit like the Mediterranean diet or dietary patterns like that, which are very plant-based, but do include some animal-based foods. So metabolism really refers to the way that the body is generating energy to help its cells to work, the way the body is carrying out processes of biosynthesis, that is making things. For example, your body needs to make protein, it needs to make entire cells. Of course, going back to the immune system, if you're infected, the body needs to make antibodies and things like that. So metabolism is the sum of all of these processes, these chemical reactions that occur in the body. And of course, we need our metabolism to be functioning well to maintain health. And some of the signs that our metabolism is not functioning well might be things like high levels of blood sugar. Our body's not metabolizing sugar well. High levels of blood fats, things like triglycerides, cholesterol, our body is not metabolizing those well. So there is a relationship between metabolism and our health. So when our metabolism isn't working properly, that's a sign we're probably not healthy. And again, this lack of health can relate to immune health, as well as the health of other systems in the body, things like heart health, brain health, and so on, all have common features. And I actually think if one of these places in the body is affected, probably they're all going to be affected. Improving metabolism, again, this is really the same factors that help with general health. So things like maintaining a good body weight, because actually our fat tissue, which accumulates when we put on weight, also is influencing our metabolism. So maintaining a healthy weight, keeping physically fit, and eating a good diet, because the diet is providing all of the things that the body needs for its metabolic function. And again, the main roles of vitamins and minerals in the body, or some of the main roles, actually relate to their roles in metabolism. So in metabolism, you're really converting one thing into another. So for example, you're converting glucose into energy. That process of conversion uses enzymes, and those enzymes need what we call cofactors. These are factors that help the enzymes to work. Now, most of those cofactors are actually vitamins and minerals. So you can see immediately that vitamins and minerals are really important in our ability to carry out metabolism. So again, there's a relationship between diet and metabolism, between diet and health, and between metabolism and health. I think to support the body's metabolism, we need a variety of nutrients to be provided to the body. And that means we need a variety of foods. And we call this a diverse diet. So a diet composed of many types of foods. So we have to think about foods that contain vitamins, minerals, good quality protein, essential fatty acids, and so on. So many types of fruits, vegetables, berries, nuts, seeds. Also fermented foods are very important because, again, the gut bacteria, the gut microbiota is very important in metabolic control. Good quality protein. So I think in terms of foods, it's the foods that people would think of as being healthy, I think, you know, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fish and other seafood, especially fatty fish, and sources of fiber. I think we know when people are deficient in vitamins and minerals, they can develop diseases, and we call these deficiency diseases. Now, they would be identified through particular clinical signs that a doctor would see. Now, of course, deficiency of these nutrients is not a good thing in the population. But what we find is there are a lot of people who are not deficient, but they're not consuming what we call the adequate amount, the amount they should be. And we term this insufficient. So this is somewhere between having enough and being deficient. Now, unfortunately, for most of the nutrients, we don't really know when we're insufficient, unless we have a blood test, of course. I think one exception might be iron. So tiredness, inability to concentrate, these can be caused by not having enough iron. And if people were feeling like that, they might need to see a doctor and have an iron test. But in fact, for most of the other minerals and for most of the vitamins, we don't really know if we're not getting enough unless we have a blood test. So my advice to people would be to always try to eat as healthy a diet as they can, because that's going to make sure all of their nutrients are in as good a shape as they can be. So in fact, stress is one of the factors that influences the immune system quite strongly. And this can be mental stress, it can be physical stress, and it can be also what we call metabolic stress. So there are different types of stress that the body may have. But all of these types of stress in common cause the body to produce what we call stress hormones. And a good example of a stress hormone is cortisol. And what these stress hormones do, for reasons that maybe don't really make a lot of sense, we don't really understand this, they suppress the immune system. So they make the immune system weak. So what that means is when people are under stress, their immune system is not working so well, and they will be more at risk of getting an infection. So in fact, people will be aware of this because in English, we have a term run down. That means we're just not feeling our best. And what people often report is when they're run down, that's when they think they get colds, maybe get mild flu. And I think this is a real link between stress. And again, just to say, this could be mental stress, could be physical stress, could be some invisible stress within the body, metabolic stress. There is this link between stress, a weak immune system, and people getting sick from infections. So again, I think along with the other factors that I've mentioned, trying to relieve stress is very important to get our metabolism right and to support our immune system. And this can include things, for example, sleep. Sleep is very important to the immune system. Actually, sleep is a time when the immune system sort of also has a rest but renews itself. And it's really interesting that, so all of our immune cells are actually produced in bone marrow, that soft tissue in the middle of the bones. And that's actually where our immune cells are produced. And it turns out that in the morning, after sleeping, our more immune cells come out of the bone marrow than at other times of the day. So sleep is really important to the immune system and keeping the immune system replenished with new cells. So I think, sleep, stress, the right level of physical activity, again, are all interlinked in terms of supporting immunity and supporting our metabolism. So we recognize that the traditional Japanese diet is a diet that is associated with general good health and with what we call longevity, that is a long life. Of course, the Mediterranean diet is also a diet that we associate with good health and longevity. And there are some similarities, of course, between these traditional diets, but there are also some differences, of course. I think one of the key elements of the traditional Japanese diet, or in fact, two of the key elements, one would be high intake of omega-3 fatty acids that I'm very interested in my research. They are one of the key features of the traditional Japanese diet. And the other one is fermented foods, which is very important for the gut microbiota. So these are elements of the traditional diet. Of course, my understanding is, as is common everywhere in the world, including both the Mediterranean and Northern Europe, is many people are moving away from the traditional diet, particularly young people. So they see attraction in, let's call it a non-traditional diet, a more Western style diet. And this is, we know, is somewhat lacking in some of the things I've mentioned as being really important, lacking in good quality fats like the omega-3s, for example, maybe lacking in some of the essential vitamins and minerals, but very high in energy. And of course, energy is important to the body, but we don't want too much energy. Now, your question relates to stress and diet. So I would advise to keep in mind the features of healthy diets: fruits, vegetables, fish, fiber, fermented foods. So harking back to the traditional, but also some of the other things I've mentioned, thinking about sleep, thinking about physical fitness, thinking about weight management, trying to relieve stress in other ways, you know, through, things like meditation, for example, can be very important. So I would see this as a package. I think it goes beyond just diet, although diet is important, but I would see a full lifestyle package, I think. Now, of course, people need time to do all this. And one of the features often of the modern lifestyle is seems to be lack of time to do all of these things. But you know what we've been hearing is where this is really important to people and they make time, it can actually make a big difference. And of course, it increases your work performance. So, you know, if you're stressed, you're not working so well, that makes you more stressed. So you've got to intervene, and relieving stress, having a better diet, all of these things actually improves people's ability to work well. And that, of course, takes the stress away in the long term. Hi, everybody. My name's Philip Calder. I'm from the University of Southampton in the UK. My advice to people would be try to eat as healthy a diet as you can, and that should include lots of plant-based foods and also omega-3 fats, and try to maintain a healthy weight through physical activity.